Okay, so Iman Gadzhi just posted something on his story that no one's really talking about yet. What he said confirms something that me and my twin brother Omar have been doing for the past 3 years, which has generated our clients $17 million in revenue, plus made us multiple 6 figures in profit for ourselves. See, Iman didn't make a huge announcement, like he didn't post like a YouTube video on his channel. He made one Instagram story, almost like he's hinting the next big business opportunity, like business model that's coming in 2026. He called it being a shadow operator. Now, most of you guys are probably thinking, what the hell is a shadow operator? So let me show you guys exactly what he posted and break down what it means to be a shadow operator or growth operator, like whatever fancy word you want to call it, and break down why he thinks this is like a big opportunity going into 2026, but even in 2025 now. Because once you understand what's like really happening here, you'll understand that this is one of, if not the biggest opportunity that's up and coming in online business right now. Okay, so a few days ago, I saw a story that Iman posted, and I'll read out exactly what he wrote. So first, he said he's super bullish on being a shadow operator in 2025 and 2026, and he mentions how like micro and niche creators have huge audiences but no way to actually monetize correctly with digital products, and also doing it in an effective way. Then he says like you could help them do that if you have the right tools and you take a percentage of the revenue they would have never had before, all while literally staying in the shadow. Like you don't need to post any content. It's just like you, your laptop, your expertise. Now here's what's interesting. If you've been noticing Iman for a while, like you've probably noticed his evolution from first pitching like SMMA, then primarily this year it was all about, you know, create your digital product with AI, and now he's talking about a different kind of opportunity where you're actually the kind of like guy behind the laptop running the entire business for creators and taking a cut from the revenue you help generate for, you know, XYZ creators. He's essentially telling you that the real opportunity in making, you know, above $10,000 a month, because in my opinion, this holy grail of making 10K per month, it's been so worn out that lots of people now realizing, even with inflation going up, that 10K per month isn't really that much when you actually think about it. Like you can't build wealth with that money. So he's kind of like hinting the next opportunity where people can start making above and beyond that 10K mark, like 20K, 30K, 50K, even 100K plus per month. And before I move on, let me just quickly take off these glasses because I low-key look like Iman, bro. I don't know why all my friends say I look like Iman when I wear it's even his glasses. But anyway, back to the video. He's essentially telling you that the real opportunity in business isn't in being the face anymore. It's in being kind of like the operator behind the scenes, the person who, you know, helps creators make millions from the content they make. Think about it. Iman himself has operators behind the scenes that aren't as much on camera that run his, you know, entire personal brand and education business. Like for example, Alex, his videographer, his head of content, Tristan, Max, his CMO, I think, if I'm correct. And then there's some other guys as well, but you get the gist. He's firsthand seen how valuable someone is when they can take a creator from, you know, just posting content online and let's say just making money from brand deals to actually monetizing correctly, like monetizing their audience correctly with the same content that they were already making before. And you could see that shift Iman made. Like before 2022, he was kind of just posting content, and yes, maybe he was making like 100K per month, 150, whatever. But if you guys have seen his previous launches where he launched like this digital product, you know, mentorship course, he made literally over $10 million from that. So you can see the big shift that even he's personally had. And now with this opportunity, he's like hinting and communicating that this is like the next big thing, you know. Now let me kind of explain what makes this extra like interesting and, you know, something you may want to pay attention to. Most people that are, you know, out there trying to make money online, trying to scale to 5K per month, 10K per month, or even beyond that, they lack this one thing, and it's focus. They jump from like doing TikTok clipping, they jump to, you know, starting a drop shipping store on Shopify, then they jump to Amazon FBA, then, you know, trading. Like the one thing they lack is focus, right? Like they cannot stick to one singular thing. And look, I'm not saying these things don't work, like 100% if you spend enough time And if you invest capital into these different business models, they will work eventually. But if you're someone who wants to build like a long-term business that's going to make massive impact, and it's in an industry where it's growing like never before, then you might want to listen to the rest of this video. And always when you're like starting out or you're switching business models and you want to learn a new skill, like you need to think about, does this thing I'm gonna learn have long-term potential? Like, is this thing still gonna exist 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line? Like, that's what you gotta think. And it has to be something that AI cannot replace, but also it needs to be something where it's like AI integrated, so it's like you can leverage AI to produce more of the thing you're selling. And meanwhile, the people who focus on building real expertise and growing real businesses with real clients, real team members, and like real payroll every single month, those are the ones that are setting themselves up for long-term success. Now let me show you guys actual numbers of how big the online education is set to become. So the online education market right now is valued at $388 billion in 2025, and by 2030 it's projected to reach 564 billion. Like, we're talking about a market that's growing nearly at 8% per year every single year, and it's probably gonna just like keep up the momentum and exponentially keep going up and up and up and up as the years go on. And keep in mind, that's like 180 billion dollar increase in just 5 years. So that's like an extra 180 billion potential, and you're telling me you can't just take one very small cut of that? Like, think about how big this opportunity and market size actually is. And to put that into better perspective for you, that's like bigger than the entire global advertising market. Now, every single year, as you may see and know, thousands and thousands of people are going viral on platforms such as like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and they're building niche audiences of tens, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. And these are not just like any type of audiences, like they're building niche audiences in their own sectors. Like, for example, high ticket sales. We saw Shelby Sapp, like in the past year, I think she grew 1 million followers on Instagrams. Or people like Brett Scales, he kind of like birthed this term of like freelance brand scaling, which is kind of just like the old SMMA, but you get it. Like, people in these small niches like high ticket sales, remote sales, SMMA, trading, Amazon FBA, dropshipping, e-commerce, all these different niches, thousands of people are becoming kind of like mini authorities in their own spaces. But 99% of these big creators have zero clue on how to, turn this attention that they're generating, these millions of views per month, into real revenue. And not just like small numbers, right? Like, if you're generating millions of views per month and it's like quality viewers, you could build a 6-7 figure education / digital product business on the back end of that. And just as a side note, like, all these big creators, like I mentioned, Brett Scales, Shelby Sapp, whatever, Samuel Anuha, like, these people have operators that manage their business. Because if you think about it, one person cannot like focus on posting content and being like the face of the business and like stressing about, okay, YouTube videos that have to go out, Instagram posts, TikTok posts, plus sit and write emails and design landing pages. Like, there's actual people, and those are the shadow operators, whatever, growth operators. Meanwhile, look at companies positioning themselves perfectly during this massive shift where education goes from like traditional education where people have to go study, go to school, whatever, into online education. Like WAP, a payment processing / course hosting platform that hit over $1 billion in GMV in just their 4 years in business, and they're on track soon to hit $2 billion in GMV. And most of that growth literally came in the last 12 months, and a big part of that was because Iman himself became a co-owner in WAP. And they, for example, like, they saw this perfect opportunity where social media is becoming kind of like a news platform where it's like each creator is a micro authority in the thing that they teach. Now, maybe you're thinking like, well, people need to be in person to learn, or online education doesn't really work because it's like people are not focused, and like maybe you're thinking this is just like a temporary trend. Now, when Jeff Bezos launched Amazon in, I think, 1994, selling books online, people literally thought he was crazy. They were thinking like, who's gonna buy books without holding them first? Or who's gonna trust giving their credit card to some random website that they, just stumble upon? Or, most people were saying like online shopping is just like a fad. It will never replace retail stores. And fast forward to today, Amazon does over $500 billion a year in revenue. Physical stores are dying down. Like literally go into a mall today, it's basically empty. Online shopping is just growing and growing and growing. Like I think the e-commerce, I think like 2 million Shopify stores alone has, been created in the past like 3 or 4 years. Today that the online world, it's not stopping. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And online education is the next thing that's, up and coming, and like the market is about to boom. And just like what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon and, the entire e-commerce space, the people who take advantage of this kind of like online education trend early, first of all, are going to be the early innovators. And in every single market, the early innovators are always the one that make the most amount of money. Because think about the traditional path that's been laid out for us ever since we were kids. Like, finish elementary school, middle school, high school, go to a good college, university, take out this huge loan, get in debt, work hard to get a good job, like whatever, a lawyer, doctor, engineers, etc. Like all this stuff has been fed to us since we were a kid, but slowly and steadily, like even for me, all my friends, majority of kind of like the sub 20-year-olds I know today, even people in their mid-20s, they're slowly realizing that this kind of like system that was kind of like designed for us is broken, and it'll only put you in, endless debt, because it's like you spend the rest of your life paying off the debt that you're owed to your college. Colleges and universities experienced a 15% decline in enrollment between 2010 and 2021. That's 2.7 million fewer students in traditional education. And it's not because people, magically stop wanting to learn. No, they found a better way to learn that, benefits them more. Because if you think about it, like this 20th century, teenagers are becoming millionaires. Like if you see these 15-year-old millionaires or early 20-year-olds exiting, software companies for hundreds of millions or tens of millions. 10 years ago, when the internet was kind of like new, this was not possible. But we're living in an era where, first of all, AI is making information extremely easily accessible, and it's essentially, it is free to access AI, like ChatGPT is free. So you have all this information at the tip of your fingers. No wonder why no one wants to, sit in a lecture from Monday to Friday for 6 years to just get a piece of paper, which doesn't even guarantee you the job. Like the young generation now, the way they think about work, the way they think about wealth building has completely changed compared to, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or even in the, 1900s. And just another point, like people are also realizing that they want to learn from people that have actually done the thing that they're teaching. So for example, this is a common kind of thing people always talk about. It's like they're going to business lectures in university, but their business professor has never owned or started a business, compared to, let's say, learning from a 22-year-old online on how to start a marketing agency or how to get into remote high-ticket sales. But they've actually done the thing that they're teaching, and they're providing all this free value online that you can literally take, study, apply directly, and see instant ROI from. So what does it actually look like in practice to be a shadow operator or a growth operator? So when me and my twin brother, for example, work with our clients, whether they're in the Airbnb niche, trading, e-commerce, dropshipping, like whatever, we don't just sell a singular service. Like we actually become their growth partners to help grow their businesses, and then we take a piece of the pie of the revenue we help generate them. So first, let me walk you guys through what a typical client engagement actually looks like. So first, we develop the entire business strategy, because most creators think they can just record a course, it could just be like surface level info, put a price on it, and just watch 6-figure months or $1 million months roll in. But the reality is it's not like that. So first we help them kind of like build a course curriculum. And with all clients, we don't do this, but with, let's say, someone that doesn't have a digital product yet, they need help on what they're going to record. So we help them with that. And then of course, we don't know so much about, like, let's say Airbnb or trading or e-commerce, but we use the help of the clients to create like the most educational content for their, course modules. And then we map out the entire customer journeys. So creators, they post content online. How do we actually take their audience from consuming their content to a funnel, to either a sales call or, let's say, a webinar funnel? And then how do we turn them into customers for the education business? And at this stage, like, it can't just be like surface level stuff. Okay, Instagram story, one story, hey guys, I just launched a course, click here to buy. No, like the market right now is so sophisticated that that would convert like horrible. You need to think about like deep psychological triggers, even in your ads, for example. Like before you launch anything, you need to understand your ICP. You need to understand who your audience is, what their pain points are, and then you can start painting a marketing message that literally benefits only the buyers in your audience. So you don't want to tailor your offer to, let's say if you have 1 million followers, you don't want to tailor it to all of the million people. No, you want to tailor it to, let's say for example, if I'm teaching high ticket sales, I want to tailor it to people that, you know, are struggling, but you know, they want to take this business model serious. Those are the people that have a big why to what they're doing. So you have to think about that. Now, second of all, we build the entire sales infrastructure. Now, like I said before, I'm not just talking about throwing up a sales page with just like one buy button. No, like you need to think about the customer journey. You need to be thinking about creating like sophisticated funnels with good direct response copywriting on them, and then also creating multiple touch points in your sales process. And with that, I mean like if someone follows you, you don't want to just focus on, let's say, creating the best TikTok content. No, you want to like create multiple touch points. So what does that mean? Also posting on Instagram, posting stories, engaging with your followers in the DMs, posting highly educational YouTube videos that answer deep pain points and objections of potential customers. Like you need to think that deep, not just the surface level 1 stuff that most people think is just like this easy. But you need to think about literally every single layer to the customer journey and creating those, like I said, multiple touch points. And at our agency, when we focus on creating highly sophisticated funnels, direct response copy on point, we're able to produce better and better and better results for our clients. Like for example, we've launched funnels that have made 120K in 24 hours, or webinar funnels that have generated literally $83,000 on a random Sunday, like not no holiday, literally a random Sunday. And also a few multi-million-dollar months backed with hundreds and hundreds of thousands a month on ad spend. Now, how do we actually achieve these numbers, like multi 6-figure to even 7 figures a month? We like to focus on 2 traffic components, and that's number 1, paid ads through Meta, and then second is like organic content. So that entails like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Now, paid ads is good if you want to like attract a new audience, people that have never heard about you, seen you, or bought a product from you. But also you could leverage paid ads for retargeting ads. So that's like you could retarget and show ads to people that have engaged with your content or seen your content, or let's say opted into your newsletter, or even bought from you previously. The problem with just focusing on paid ads is that your cost per leads and all these metrics are going to be way higher, because most people, and trust me when I say like most people, when they see an ad and they're kind of like inclined and interested to go to the next step and maybe purchase the product, they always search that person's name on Google. Now, if they search, let's just take a random name, Bob Hemingway. If they see an ad from Bob and they search his name, Bob Hemingway, on Google, and just like random ads pages come up of like random Facebook profiles, the trust is not there and it'll feel like very scammy. But on the other hand, let's say you see an ad from Iman Gadzhi, and then you go to Google, you search Iman Gadzhi, you see his YouTube videos, you see like multiple Instagram pages, you see his TikTok page, you see his website. Like that is instant authority. And even like thinking about small stuff like that could make your ads profitable or your campaigns profitable. But going back to what I said, like that's the problem with paid ads. If you just focus on that, it's not going to be as effective as if you also build a personal brand. And that's why, like how I said previously, like most creators have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, but like they don't actually understand that they're literally sitting on a gold mine, and you could be the person that helps them generate more and take a small revenue share from, the revenue you help generate them. And the good thing about organic content is also that a potential customer will have multiple touch points with you. So how I said previously, like they can consume multiple YouTube videos, Instagram content, they can watch your daily Instagram stories that you put up, or maybe they comment on your YouTube videos and then you answer, and then like a small convo happens there. Like there's so many more touch points that happen within organic content that paid ads just simply cannot replicate. So that's why, how I said before, that's the power of mixing both organic content, building a strong kind of like a mini niche authority-based personal brand, and then mixing that with paid ads. Like this is the exact roadmap and blueprint we use to scale our clients systematically, predictably, and repeatedly, like month over month. Either we're growing or we're maintaining the amount of money we're making. So it's not like 1 month we'll make 300 grand, next month it's like whatever 30 grand, and the next month it's like 80 grand. No, it's like we're always continually scaling and scaling and scaling. And for these growth partner deals, we charge our clients monthly retainers or one-time setup fees, and then plus anywhere from 10 to 30% revenue shares. That means if we help a client, let's say, make 100K in a month, we're personally, like just from the rev share, taking home anywhere from 10 to 30K US dollars, like net profit, because most of the fulfillment is either leveraged with AI or a few team members, but the cost isn't that high. So it's going to be over 90% profit margins. And if we scale them to, let's say, 200K, 300K, 500K per month and beyond, like you can see how lucrative these revenue share deals become. I remember one thing Iman said in that Instagram story, like we're helping them generate revenue they would have never had previously, because like how I said before, like the creator cannot focus on making content and then focusing on scaling the business. Like they need people like us to come in and help them do that. But let's say these numbers feel like way too big for you, and let's say like you're just a beginner. How would a typical roadmap look like? In my opinion, like the skills you need to build, like the most important skills you need to build is, like, for example, copywriting, funnel building, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube, like free YouTube videos online teaching you how to do those things. And even we're trying to be extra consistent with posting on YouTube. But let's say you just help a client make 30K in a month and you have a 10% revenue share. That's 3K a month. Let's say you have 3 clients doing 30K per month, which is like selling mentorship, courses, masterminds, information and digital products. 30K per month. Trust me when I say it's not that hard. Like it's not that hard. Like you could have a niche, very small personal brand, but if you know what you're doing and your systems are good, you could easily be pulling in 30 to 50K per month per client. And let's say, I said, you have 3 clients, 10% revenue share each. Let's say no monthly retainer. That's anywhere from, if I'm correct, like around $15,000 per month. So like $9,000 to $15,000 per month if you make them between 30K per month and 50K per month. Now, here's something important that I need you to understand, and this is probably like the most important part of the entire video. Like the fundamental skills you develop by being a growth partner doesn't just apply to, helping creators scale their own education businesses. These are fundamental skills that drive literally every single successful company forward and, to grow and make more money. And the two things are marketing and sales. Think about it. How does Tesla grow? Through marketing and sales. Like how does Apple sell iPhones? Through marketing and sales. They create ads, they create these landing pages that look so pretty and they have a marketing message, all that stuff. And then, for example, how does your local restaurant grow? Through marketing and sales. Like marketing sales is the fundamental basics that if you nail, you could help any business, literally any business on this planet, grow. Just think about it. Every single business needs attention. They need to convert that attention to customers, and then they need to maximize the value of each customer, and they need systems to scale. So I want you to keep that in mind. Like these aren't just online skills or digital marketing skills that only apply to online businesses or just education businesses. These are long-term, valuable business skills that you're learning. Now, let me be real with you with something. Like this business model or business opportunity, it's not something you're going to master just overnight. And if you're just looking for like a quick win and for you to build this 100K per month business overnight, trust me, this is not for you. Because even me, my twin brother, we spent the first, I would say 1 to 2 years just becoming really good at what we were doing. Of course, we weren't the best like by year 2, but for the past 3 years, we've been making a lot of mistakes, but we've been learning from them and keeping it going out. And we've been studying the greats, like how do big education companies structure their teams? How do, what type of funnels do they run? Like we're constantly learning. Like being a growth partner requires you to actually become valuable. And it also requires you to learn multiple skills like copywriting, funnel building, learning media buying, how to run paid ads, how to leverage AI to script, AI videos or meta ads, etc. And it also requires you to just step up as an individual and just overall become a more business savvy person, if you want to say that. But that's exactly why this opportunity is so big, because literally most people out there right now, they're trying to make money online. They don't want to put in that big effort for that big reward maybe 1 year or 2 years down the line. They just want quick wins, do this quick business model, make $5,000 here and then move on to this crypto leverage trading, make 20K here. They don't want to actually focus, put in work and build a real business. But if that's something that you want to do, then all the information is out there. You could start this thing literally today, tomorrow, and maybe 2 months down the line, you land your first client. And let's say by month 3, you get your first revenue share. And then you keep scaling and scaling from that point. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this long rant and hopefully you took some value out of it. Hopefully you got some, clarity on how you want to spend the rest of your 2025 and what you want to pursue in life. And yeah, also one thing I want to say is me and Omar just launched our weekly free newsletter where we are going to share exactly how we're scaling our own growth partner agency. We're going to be seeing like behind the scenes of our life, like just overall lessons that we learn. Yeah, so every week, multiple times, we drop valuable insights, marketing frameworks, whatever, copywriting tricks, essentially everything we're doing behind the scenes. So yeah, link is in the description if you want to sign up. And also, if you have any questions, more questions that this video kind of like didn't answer, feel free to message us on our Instagram. I'll also leave links in the video description. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.